All right, welcome back to another episode of the Havenshine Podcast. I am Saximus.
I am Ghoul.
We haven't seen each other a couple weeks because I had a prior engagement, but we did have the establishment a couple weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, right?
2 weeks ago, yeah. Our major in West Warwick, Rhode Island. I think we had a pretty good turnout. I had a lot of fun.
Really good time. What was it, like 100 and something?
120 some odd people showed up
120
in the
something
Phoenix
like
Sportsman's Club in West Warwick. For a lot of games, like the Smash games in Street Fighter were packed because they're Smash and Street Fighter. But even we had a pretty good turnout for a lot of smaller games too. Rivals of Aether, Injustice 2.
Injustice 2 had a pretty solid turnout.
Yeah.
Marvel vs. Capcom had a pretty solid bracket too. I think it was like 10, 12 players.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad
for a group that size. And we are having a major at the end of the month, which we'll talk about. Not a major,
a monthly.
Monthly at the end of the month, which we'll mention a little bit later. But let's get more into the news. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which I am hyped for, but I am slightly less hyped for now that the official roster has supposedly been leaked, and the leaker who leaked this is a reputable leaker, and whoever they are, they apparently have a really good track record for leaks. But on the Marvel side so far, we have Ant-Man, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Gamora, Hawkeye, Hulk, Iron Man, Nova, Rocket/Groot, Spider-Man, Thanos, Thor, and Ultron.
And for Capcom, we're coming out with Arthur, Chris Redfield, Chun-Li, Dante, Firebrand,
Jeddah,
I don't even know who that is. Monster Hunter, Morrigan, Nemesis, Ryu, Spencer, Strider, X, and
a question mark that's possibly Frank West.
Could be Frank West.
Let's start with the Marvel side first. I mean, I don't have as much emotional attachment to the Marvel side as I do to the Capcom side, but I know that the developers have said before that, oh, don't worry, fans, this isn't just going to be MCU versus Capcom. This roster is literally MCU versus Capcom. The only Marvel character on this that hasn't been in an MCU film is Nova.
Captain Marvel.
She's got a movie coming up.
Oh, well, she hasn't been in one yet.
But she is going to be in one. And there's no X-Men characters. There's no Fantastic Four characters, including Doctor Doom. There's no Deadpool.
Yeah, there's no Deadpool. I don't even see Spider-Man on here.
Yeah, right there.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
Yeah. So we at least have Spider-Man. But what really confuses me is that since this is apparently just straight up MCU versus Capcom, since all 5 other Avengers are already in it, where's Black Widow? And where's Scarlet Witch?
Yeah, those are all good questions.
Right now we only have 4 confirmed female characters, 2 Marvel, 2 Capcom, and no Black Widow, really? But let's get to the Capcom side, and I have several opinions about this. Some are obviously shoo-ins, Ryu, Chun-Li.
Yeah, you're going to get those Street Fighter characters, without a doubt.
Strider, Hiryu.
Morrigan's a fan favorite.
You can't not have Morrigan in a Marvel game. X, obviously, because if you're going to have Sigma, you can't not have X. But really confused me is that we have 2 Darkstalkers characters. We have Morrigan and Jeddah. And I had no idea who Jeddah was prior to this leak, because I've never played Darkstalkers. Apparently he's a character in Darkstalkers. I think it's really cool that they're bringing back more obscure, lesser-known characters.
But why not do that for Marvel?
Yeah, why not?
We haven't even seen Venom.
Yeah.
You know how cool Venom would be?
Well, Venom I think was in Marvel 1, and apparently Venom is going to be DLC. That's the rumor that's happening, because Marvel is doing special variant covers of their comics to promote MVCI, and one of the comics that's getting a variant cover is Venom.
Okay, so then that's fair to assume that Venom will be coming later.
Yeah. And what really gets me is that we have 2 Darkstalkers characters, but there are also so many other Capcom franchises that are underrepresented. Like, we've never gotten a Power Stone character. We've never gotten a Breath of Fire character. And in this roster alone, we have no Amaterasu, no Phoenix Wright, but we have 2 Darkstalkers characters and 2 Ghosts and Goblins characters. We really need both Arthur and Firebrand. I mean,
I don't even know who either of those characters are.
Ghosts and Goblins is this really old 2D platformer. It was on the NES. I actually know very little about it. Should have looked it up beforehand. Arthur was the hero, and then Firebrand was one of the villains. And I know Firebrand was really great in Marvel 3, but I'm pretty sure if you removed Firebrand, no one would really care.
Yeah, I've only ever seen one person even play Arthur, and it was as a joke.
Yeah, because Arthur's a really difficult character to use in 3. And I don't know. I mean, we do have DLC coming, and On paper, I like smaller rosters because one of my biggest beefs with the Marvel franchise in general is how unbalanced the games are. Like, you need to play certain characters if you want to even go 2-2 in tournament. And the smaller roster is easier to balance, but this, I'm just super underwhelmed by this.
But, see, on the flip side to small rosters, we've talked before about characters make the game.
Yeah.
And it's harder to interest people in a game, especially a versus game, right? Because what's the appeal of a versus game?
To play wacky characters and do crazy matchups.
Characters that would never fight each other ever are now fighting each other.
Yeah.
And if you don't have characters to represent both sides in a versus game, where does the theme of that game go?
Yeah, because I know people are upset because there's no Wolverine, there's no Magneto, there's no Doctor Doom.
Yeah, like why would you have no X-Men characters?
Maybe it has to do with the film rights, because I know that I think it's Sony that does the X-Men films. Or it's someone that does the X-Men films separate from the MCU.
I mean, maybe it's just because the X-Men films were really bad, so the character's popularity's dropped or something.
I don't know.
Either way,
Logan was really good.
I haven't seen Logan yet.
It's really good. You should see it.
But like the X-Men Last Stand and X2, those weren't great movies. They're old, but they weren't great.
Yeah.
But like the X-Men is such an iconic piece of Marvel history. Like, why wouldn't you represent it?
And they've been in every Capcom versus Marvel series, like Street Fighter versus X-Men,
yeah,
and all the Marvel versus Capcom games. You've always had Wolverine. You've almost always had Cyclops. Almost always have had Magneto. And it seems just, even as someone who never got into Marvel until Marvel 3, it seems blasphemous to not have them.
Yeah, and
it doesn't feel like Marvel.
I mean, the other thing is the Fantastic Four. I mean, was Doctor Doom the only Fantastic Four character in 3?
Yeah.
But even still, Doctor Doom was a really popular character in 3.
Well, I think it also has to do with the fact that he was really good in 3.
Well, yeah, but he was a popular character.
Yeah.
So people that got used to playing Doctor Doom aren't going to have him anymore.
Right.
I mean, I know, like, the whole game plays differently. There's only 2 characters, and...
But back to the 3-round system instead of just one round with 3 characters.
Yeah. So, I mean, the gameplay changes are their own thing, their own discussion, but I think this Capcom is on a losing streak when it comes to launch rosters.
I really didn't want Infinite to be just Street Fighter V 2. I mean, I like Street Fighter V. And I'll continue playing it, but everyone remembers how terrible the launch was. The fight money system is still awful. They still don't have an arcade mode. I mean, seriously, how difficult is an arcade mode to program?
Exactly. Like,
I don't know.
Like, how do you make a fighting game which began in arcades
without an arcade
mode? But that's a different discussion. Capcom is just, in my opinion, on a really bad losing streak when it comes to launching their games.
Yeah.
Like you said, Street Fighter V is a solid game once you play it.
Once you play it.
Playing Street Fighter V, like, against people or playing online, it's a solid mechanical fighting game. Mm-hmm. But
as far as user experience goes.
Yeah, there's no characters, there's no content, there's just nothing for people that want to not play against people.
Yeah. And I mean, there are much more characters now than there were when the game started, which is great, but you still have to pay real money or grind fight money for your entire life just to buy them.
Yeah.
And they also added the story mode, a Shadow Falls, which, no.
Yeah, no, that was bad.
I don't know. I mean, we do have E3 coming up in a couple weeks, so hopefully we should have a lot to talk about if they talk about Marvel there. But let's talk about some more fighting games that just released recently. You, my friend, have done it. You have gotten me into Tekken.
I have done it.
Yes.
Tekken is out. And Tekken is amazing.
It's really good. And as someone, like, the only 3D fighting game I've ever really played are the PSP Dissidia games, which, as we were talking about yesterday, are more arena brawlers than they are just 3D
fighting games.
Yeah, but seriously, Tekken 7 is a lot of fun. If you have the money to spare and you like the fighting games that are easy to pick up but difficult to master, that's the thing I wasn't really expecting with Tekken 7, is that it's really easy to pick up.
Exactly. And people are scared, like, oh, there's 3 dimensions and characters have a lot of moves. Mm-hmm. But when you get into Tekken, it's actually a really simple game to play at a base level.
It really is.
But then there's so much depth to it, and, like, I don't think people really grasp what a 3rd dimension really does to a fighting game.
Yeah. Like, I remember when we were playing yesterday, and the instant I realized, oh wait, he's about to attack me, I can sidestep it and counterattack.
I don't have to block it and be in block stun. I can sidestep and make him whiff.
Or jump over it and risk an anti-air.
Yeah.
No, I can just step to the side and
punish it that way. And, that's like a really different mindset for a lot of people that are used to 2D games.
Yeah. Very limited options.
Yeah.
So of course, we are going to start running Tekken 7 brackets here at Havenshine at the Ken Wok Chinese Restaurant.
We had our first one
beautiful
yesterday,
North Providence,
actually.
Rhode Island. How many people do we have for that?
I think it was a 12-player bracket yesterday. I'm pretty sure
that's
it was.
not bad considering our size.
For a day after release, and for the amount of people that were here, there was a lot of Tekken players here yesterday.
That's pretty good.
People I had never seen before either. It was great.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of new people. Injustice 2 also released, and I played it, and it's not my type of game, but I can certainly understand the appeal. It's a really solid, stylish game.
It is a very stylish game. It's whether or not you like that style.
Yeah. yeah.
There's a lot of style to it, but it's a style that you have to like. And like you said, I'm just not a huge fan of NetherRealm games personally.
Yeah.
But Injustice 2 is a fun game to play.
Right.
So I'm also not a huge DC fan, so Injustice just never really had an appeal to me. Character-wise. But, I played Injustice. I found a couple characters that are interesting. I played a little bit of Robin. Who else did I play? I played some Deadshot. Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, don't if you come to Havenshine, be careful of picking Deadshot, or else Ron might break his controller.
Ron might
over
get
your
really
face.
mad.
Yeah. All those looking online, apparently we're not the only ones having Deadshot troubles. So
yeah.
So
balance patch, please.
And Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2. If I hadn't bought Tekken already, I probably would have bought Guilty Gear, because I've never played a Guilty Gear game my entire life, but just looking at the overall package, there's a lot to do in that game.
Yeah, Guilty Gear is a really good game. Like, I had Xrd Sign, which was the one before Revelator. Oh, excuse me. And I had a lot of fun with it. I never got to play against any people because it was really before I started coming to Havenshine. But anime fighters are a niche fighting game, which fighting games are already niche.
Yeah.
So, like, it's a niche within a niche.
Action.
So it's like, you really need to, if you want to play offline, it might be kind of hard to find a scene to play Guilty Gear.
Yeah.
But, like, Guilty Gear is an awesome game. It's really deep and complex, and the art style is fantastic.
And from what I've heard, it's got a great tutorial, too.
It does have a really, really good tutorial.
Like, I was just watching videos online. Apparently, they style the tutorial like mini games, and not just do this and move on to the next thing.
Yeah, actually, Tekken Tag Tournament 2 had a similar tutorial.
Okay.
But Guilty Gear definitely has one of the best tutorials I've ever seen in a fighting game. Like, it really completes the whole game for you so that you understand it when you go into it.
I know it's a really deep game too, with a lot of defensive options, a lot of stuff like that. So I guess if you're playing Street Fighter V and you're frustrated by the lack of depth and the lack of defensive options, see if you can pick up Guilty Gear. Give that a try.
And looking over this roster of games that just came out, it just now occurred to me that, like, there's a fighting game out for every genre right now. A brand new fighting game. So we have a 3D fighter with Tekken 7. We have a 2D fighter with Injustice, and we have an anime fighter with Guilty Gear. And they all came out within 2 months.
That's amazing.
So, like, this is a great time for fighting games right now. Now is, like, the best time ever to try and pick up a fighting game and find something that you like.
If you live in Rhode Island, you should come on down to Havenshine.
Exactly. Try the games before you buy them, because we have them all here.
We do. And if you have a game and you want to learn, want to get better at the game, you're bound to find someone here who's willing to teach you.
Yes.
Or even someone who's just as bad as you are and is willing to mess around and have fun.
That too.
Which is, in my opinion, the whole point. Speaking of characters, I do want to talk a little bit about Ed, who released recently in Street Fighter V. I tried him for the first time yesterday. He's really weird.
He is weird.
Because he has no directional inputs, like no quarter circles, no shoryus, nothing like that, except for his critical art. And everything else is just combinations of buttons.
So, like, if you want to do uppercut, you hit 2 punch buttons. Instead of doing, like, a Shoryuken input, you just hit 2 punch buttons and a special comes out.
Yeah, if you want to use his projectile, it's forward and medium punch, and then another punch button to launch the projectile.
It's like a 2-step fireball. For those familiar with KOF, it's similar to K-Dash's fireball, where you have to do a command move first and then throw the fireball.
On paper, I'm actually really okay with that, because I'm all for games, even well-established games, that kind of mess around with the formula and changing what can really make a character a character. I mean,
Street Fighter definitely needed some extra
needs
ingredients in its formula.
It needs something new, yeah. And I think if Ed was a little better of a character, if his V-trigger had much more utility other than being a giant fireball.
We were really mad about his V-trigger.
We were hitting the lab on it yesterday during our monthly.
Like, is Urian the only one that can combo with his V-trigger?
Guile. Like, Guile doesn't count because this is just a straight-up power.
Well, yeah, and I'm being told off stage that Balrog can combo with his V-trigger.
Yeah, but okay, so Ed's V-trigger is just, he summons, like, this great big old ball of psycho power and throws it at you. And, yeah, it hits, it does a lot of damage, and you would think you could juggle the opponent. You know, you could do a hit confirm into Shoryu and then have them get juggled by the V-trigger. No.
Nope.
The hurt boxes get removed when you do that.
I don't even know if it has, like, a vertical hitbox. Like, you know how if you jump too early, you can sit on a fireball?
Yeah.
I don't even know if the V-trigger has that. We might have to lab that later. But, like, apart from his V-trigger lacking in a little bit of utility that I would have liked to see, like, it has great block pressure.
Yeah.
But other than that, I can't really see it being that useful.
I mean, you could combo with, like, the 1-2-3 100 hands fist jab combo.
Mash hands, yeah.
And maybe go into his critical art, but that and controlling space pretty much all they're good for, which is kind of a shame. Yeah. Capcom, please. Speaking of characters and switching games to my favorite game, that is, of course, Rivals of Aether. The full release was about a month and a half ago, and we already have our 9th character on the horizon. We don't know anything about her yet, only that A, she's female, and B, she uses a lightsaber.
That's interesting.
It's very interesting.
Because Rivals doesn't have a sword character.
Well, it has Forsburn, but he uses...
Oh, yeah, he has a knife. That's right.
Yeah, he has a dagger. But I don't know, I think really interesting to have the characters... I mean, and kind of Raster with his wings, but I don't know. I'm just thinking something like Marth, who has really huge disjointed hitbox that can reach all the way around.
Because Forsburn doesn't have any disjointed hitboxes, does he?
He does, but they're not huge, and because he's one of the slower, clunkier characters, he's not completely safe on hit. So you gotta watch out for that. So we don't know anything about her yet. I know that the developers have planned to have 6 new characters by the end of 2017.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
1 for each element, Earth, Fire, Air, Water, and then 2 guest characters from other games.
Other guest characters in Rivals?
Guest characters in Rivals.
That... I honestly don't even know how to process that.
I know, right? The one that I've heard going around, the rumor, is that we're gonna have we're gonna have Dust from Dust and Elysian Tale. Have you played that game?
God, I really hope so.
Well, the reason people think that is because the developer Dan Fornes worked on Dust and Elysian Tale.
I really hope we see that character, because Dust is an awesome game.
It really is. It's got this really neat. It's this Metroidvania beat 'em up type game. It's really fun. I definitely recommend checking it out.
It's a platformer with combos.
Yes,
and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
You got launchers and you got projections. It's really fun. I think if they tweaked him a bit, I think Dust could work really well into Rivals. So, and he's a sword using character, so fingers crossed.
I really hope that's a thing.
E3 is coming up, and I do also know that they have announced that there's going to be some Rivals related news at E3, and then they'll let us know when and where we can watch it. And the general consensus is going to be it's either going to be more information on the new character, or it's going to hopefully be Rivals on the Switch.
That would be cool.
That would be really cool.
Rivals on the Switch.
I think that'd be a really good fit. And something I didn't get a chance to talk about because of the establishment and everything else we had to talk about. The Rivals Championship Series is actually an online tournament series run by the Rivals of Aether devs. It started last fall with the championship at Genesis 4. I participated in a couple. I didn't do that well, but it was really cool, really hot. Season 2 actually just started May 20th, which I couldn't participate in because of the establishment. But we are having a second one. A second one in June, I believe, 24th. I think that's a Saturday.
Oh, they're going to be at Shine, too.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. So what's going to happen is they're going to have 2 online... I think like the first one on the 20th had something like 300 entrants worldwide, which for an indie game online is really good. The second one's going to be towards the end of June. And what's going to happen is the top 8 from the first one and the top 8 from the second one are going to have their own top 16 bracket. And the winner of that will get all of their travel expenses paid for Shine 2017 and August.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
It's really cool because
indie dev putting out that type of sponsorship support, that is insane.
For a major, yeah.
For a major, that is really cool.
Now, I mean, theoretically speaking, if you or I were to win, it wouldn't be that big of a deal for us because we're an hour south of Boston.
We're an hour away from Shine.
But
that's what I mean.
That's still really cool. And even if you don't win, everyone who participates gets a promo skin for Crag, Champion Crag, which is this really cool black and silvery skin.
Oh, that's neat.
Or cobalty, more so than silver. And everyone, I can't remember if it's top 8 or everyone who wins, but everyone who, let's just assume, wins gets the same kind of skin but for Raster. Because I know for Rivals Championship Series Season 1, all participants got Champion Zetterburn, which I just finally got around to installing on my system, and everyone who won got Champion Edalus. So I'm probably never going to get Champion Edalus, but I do definitely want Champion Crag, because he's my main. He's my bug.
What about Zetter, though?
I already have Zetter.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. He was the participation skin for Season 1.
Of course he's the participation prize.
Because everyone plays Zetterburn. He's still a solid character.
I know. I'm just gonna have to pick up Maple.
Yeah. You were messing around with Maple last time we played.
I was.
Yeah, it was fun. All right. So we got that, and again, Havenshine Podcast here at the Ken Wok Chinese restaurant in North Providence, Rhode Island.
Yes, on Mineral Spring Ave.
Yes.
It's worth the traffic. Mineral Spring is terrible, but it's worth coming here to play games.
Yeah.
And besides, when we leave here, it's usually like 10 o'clock because that's when the restaurant closes. And there's no more traffic on the way home.
And you can eat here because the food's really good.
And you can eat here because the food is awesome and it is not expensive and they give you a lot of food.
They do.
The food is great. Mm-hmm. I eat here probably more than I should.
Yeah, me too, now that I think about it. Because I'm here 3-4 days a week.
In fact, I'm going to go order food after we're done with this.
All right, so what events do we have coming up this week? I don't believe our Street Fighter Weekly is this week. I think it's the week after that.
Actually, yeah, that's a good question. Street Fighter not this week, right? Ron? Street Fighter not this week, next week? Because we had Street Fighter this past Wednesday, didn't we? Yeah.
5 weeks, yes.
Yeah, so not this coming week, but the week after that.
Next week, okay.
And
today is June 3rd, right? June 4th?
Yeah, Sunday, June 4th.
Sunday, June 4th.
Every Sunday is just our Sunday Showdown. Bring a fighting game that you like, and if people are interested, we'll have a bracket for it.
Yep. Also, play Tekken.
Also play, and just play something new. Sunday is a great day for trying a fighting game that you otherwise might not have tried. For instance, I got our friend Starlight over there into Pocket Rumble, which is this really...
That's a cool game.
Yeah.
Broken.
What's broken?
Broken. Pocket Rumble.
Your character is broken. The game is not broken. Pocket Rumble's fun.
If there is a character that is broken, then the game is broken.
Shoo. That's our Starlight. If you have a character, a game that you want to try, come on down. If you want other people to try it, that's how I got people into Rivals of Ether. Come on down.
Sundays is Sunday Showdown. Mondays is Monday Night Melee, but that's somewhere else. That is at Pizza Queen on Smith Street. That's where our Melee events are on Monday nights.
And then Thursday Smash 4, Friday is board games.
Friday's board games. Board games is a lot of fun.
Yes.
If you come to nothing else, come to board games.
It really is a lot of fun.
Come to either Board Game Fridays or Sunday Showdown.
Yes.
And then every other Wednesday is our Street Fighter V / fighting game bi-weekly event.
Yes. And we are having a monthly later in the month. More details on that to be announced at a later date.
That stuff is TBD and TBA.
Yes. Sometime this week. It's going to be set for the end of June. So
yeah, definitely stay tuned for that.
And anything else you'd like to share?
No, I think we got it. Play Tekken.
It's really fun. I didn't even like 3D games until yesterday, and I played Tekken. I was like, wow, this game is really fun. I'm going to buy it now.
No one likes 3D games until they like 3D games.
Yes. I am Saximus.
I am Ghoul.
We'll see you at the next tournament.